Hey everybody, it's Emily and this is Emmylou Arts, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about magazine journals because some of you don't know exactly what they are, and the truth is they can be whatever you want them to be. But it's a really fun way to make a journal out of a magazine that you enjoy looking at, or there's really fun ones at Barnes & Noble like Flow and Breathe, and there's so many good ones. This magazine was, I think a Breathe, it was a Breathe special edition magazine, and it was a list journal. That was what the original cover said. And what it was is just a big, it's papers filled with lists. Like lists that you can make to prompt you in journaling and stuff like that. And I love to make magazine journals and use them as journals, and then just like paint out the things that I don't want, like the lettering or anything like that. And so this one, since it had so many lines already in it, when I saw it at the bookstore, I was like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect, because it wasn't as much to like paint over and white out. So like these were list headings that I just painted over and then stuck washi tape in, and then I did tip-ins with just random pieces of scrapbook paper that I was trying to like get rid of and stuff. But then it still also has the benefit of having the cool papers, like Flow and Breathe have, because they have such pretty papers. That's the benefit of using those kind of magazines, because there's just so much cool stuff in them. And you could buy these magazines and then just repurpose, use all the pages in your journals and just cut them up and harvest them, kind of like I do my Real Simple. But then another way to do it is to actually do this. And I just wanted to share this with you guys because it's really fun and it's a really stress relieving activity. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Basically, you pick out a magazine that you like, that's got a lot of images that you like, and then you just take it and you pick some of your acrylic paints that kind of go with sort of the colors of your magazine that you've picked out. Like I tend to use a lot of like really kind of subdued colors, that if the magazine that you picked was really bright, then you could do really bright colors. That would also be super fun. But this one just had a few, just was kind of a little bit more like, I don't know, that's kind of bright, and it doesn't have to be, it can be anything you want really, any colors of paint that you want. And then grab a couple rolls of washi that you like, some glue, some scrapbook paper if you have some, collage images if you have those, and you just sit down and get a pile of wax paper, tear them into sheets. Now I had these from the last time that I made a magazine journal, so they were just sitting and I reused them. So I bought this thing of wax paper at Dollar Tree. So, and I just use it for my art stuff. So there's like a ton of squares of wax paper in here. And all I do is I take my paint, I like turn on some music or turn on a YouTube person that you like to watch, and just have your bottles of paint here, flip open your magazine, squeeze stuff on the page, like rub it in with a big brush, rub it in with your fingers. I like to use my fingers and kind of like just, rub it all over. And then you stick a piece of wax paper in, flip it over, move to the next page. This one was blank, so flip it over, or stick in wax paper, flip it over. And you kind of got to make sure it gets into the crevice there. And then just keep going through the entire magazine, painting out what you don't want. And then sometimes it takes, like, some things might take a few coats. Like this was a light green, so you can still see the words. Like, if I were brave enough, what challenges am I ready to face? And I don't mind those so much. That would be kind of cool to have that poking through as well. And then you just kind of do it in layers. Once you're, you can go through with a blow dryer or like a dryer kind of thing, art dryer, and you can dry your paint. And then I go through after I have like washi and scrapbook paper, and I slap them in. I don't try and match anything. I don't try and, it's kind of like how I decorate my journal pages when I do my month in advance. That's all I do. I slap stuff in and that's it. Washi, whatever. Don't care if it matches, don't care what it is. I like it. And then I go through and I did the same thing with scrapbook paper. I had extras from that Maggie Holmes Flourish pad, and I tore those out and cut them up, and I made them into tip-ins on some pages like this. That would be cute for journaling or fun. This was another piece of scrapbook paper. And then you can just make tons of tip-ins. Or you can just, this is one of my favorite pieces of scrapbook paper of all time. That girl. And let's see, sometimes I would just like tear it into strips and plop it down just to have decoration, like that's glued in. Another tip-in. And this was a tip-in in the front cover. And then I did the same thing with the front of the journal. Like I just used paint on the things that I really didn't care to see. And I thought I liked all of these little illustrations, so I kept those. I stuck on my Maggie Holmes washi tape, which I thought was really beautiful. And then I had some old ones, like little lemons that I thought was cute. And let's see, I tore a piece of scrapbook paper and glued it here. So basically you can keep what you want, get rid of what you don't want, and I just thought this made such a cute journal. It would be so fun to journal in. And this is another one that I did a long time ago, but I never ended up journaling in it. I did end up kind of tearing pages out to journal in my last journal, and I probably will continue to do that just because I liked some of the photos, but at the time I was using a different journal, so I just kind of started harvesting it instead of journaling actually in it. But this one is too cool to do that because it's already got the lines and stuff, so I'm definitely going to journal in this one. And then when it's all full, it looks something like this. This was my first magazine journal that I did. Put my tissue paper back. You can see I wrote volume 3, and I covered this with packing tape. A lot of this was magazine collage pieces. This face was magazine collage. I think these mountainy things were the actual cover of the magazine. I believe this was a flow. Can't remember because I covered it all up. I put a piece of scrapbook paper on the back, this kind of vintagey looking. And that's another tip, is when you have the journal cover like you like it, I would cover it with packing tape and do that to the spine, and then put a piece of packing tape in here because it will reinforce the spine. See, I put one right here, and I put one around the spine and back on your corners, and then in this back spine. That's what I did, and then I just journaled in it just like I did just with my other journal. This is back in 2017, and it's all about magazine collage. See, like I did use some of my spray inks and stuff on this, and I used this little thing just tipped it in. And then these were art things that were in the magazine, the Flow magazine, and I just loved them. So I kind of like put paint in here, and then I did a quote, and then I did some flowers. So I put in a picture that Addie drew me, and then yeah, there's just journaling. And if you journal over acrylic paint, the pen that I use to journal over acrylic paint is my Inkjoy gel. Oh, I think it's upstairs. It's a 0.7 Inkjoy gel. Yep, it must be upstairs. That's what this is. And then I do poems, like this one reminded me of Henry. Your freckled skin brags of your unique character, and I realize as I kiss each freckle, I will never know someone else quite like you. Chrissy Penny. I loved that little quote poem. This was journaling about the solar eclipse, so I put our solar eclipse glasses in there. That was a picture I took with my phone. There's a piece of a thesaurus or dictionary. I made a little pocket here to slip our glasses in. And the cover, this picture was, I painted a big black circle and then like the sun behind it, so I kind of made my own moon. This was a Tim Holtz journaling card that I just taped in. So this is just to tell you what you can use. This is a tip-in Addie drew on her first day of kindergarten. See, it's the same kind of journaling that I do now. Sorry, that was Michael turning on the hose in the backyard because he's spraying out the gutters right now. So yeah, the same kind of thing. Tip-ins, book pages, journaling. The same as I do in my journals now. You take advantage of the images that are already in here. I cut that out of a newspaper. I love that. This was kind of like an art journaling spread for me. I loved that. And I loved these words, a song of ourselves. And it's like art, the way it signals an exchange. Yeah. And this was an art journaling that I did with, these were napkins that I used to soak up my inks. I drew this little girl. This was my hat girl, and I love this little girl. And then I cut these little hats out of a magazine, and it was an art journaling just about how many different hats we wear, you know, throughout the day as people. And then just journaling like that. She's meditating. And then I used my little Tim Holtz words, stuff like that. Oh, this was journaling about Henry's 7th birthday. So I still was using my sprocket photos, you can see, and using scrapbook paper. This was this was an envelope I tipped in, and I have journaling in there. So I won't go through the whole thing, but you can see that that's what I would do. Take advantage of what's already in there and use those pages, because like this is so cool, and this was already in the magazine. And sometimes you get these magazines that you love the images so much, but you're like, what am I going to do with this? Turn it into a journal, and then you get to keep these images that you love so much forever. So I love this. So that was I had so much fun, and I miss this. It's not great by any means. I got into trying to draw faces. That's really hard. And if there's articles that like strike a chord with you or that mean something to you, like a lot of times there are in Breathe and Flow, I keep the articles, and I don't paint over them or anything. So. And this one just actually happened to have a little blurb about Amelia Earhart, and it was just around the time that they discovered, they thought they caught that photo, you know, historical photo of Amelia Earhart that showed that she didn't die in her plane crash or whatever. So I thought that was kind of cool, and I put that in there. So that was that, and this is the one that I intend on using. That is just what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, because I was thinking about it, and I had this in front of me, and I was thinking about journaling for next year and what I'm going to do, and I still don't know, but I definitely want to play in this and thought I would share with you guys what a magazine journal is and how easy and fun it is to make your own, and like just how stress relieving it is. You just get to play. You get to play with your paint and your art supplies, and you can stamp in it. Like just go through and make different layers, you know, like I could pick out stamps that I like, and I could go through and stamp now on these pages. And then before long, it's just like, you know, you wouldn't even have to journal. You could just keep doing fun, you know, play in it. It can just be your play journal, which is super fun. Maybe that's what I'll do with it. I'm not sure. But anyways, guys, that's what I wanted to show you today, because these are just my fave. I love them, and it's so much fun. So I hope that you guys give it a shot, and let me know and show me pictures if you do, or if you have another cool way that you like to you know, use magazines that you really enjoy. So I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you're having a great week. Bye.